let's talk about the debt ceiling problem. And let me ask that question again. How bad is that?
Well, if it goes on a few days, I mean, if we really don't get it resolved in a day or two, it's absolutely terrible. I mean, I've told my children that it takes 20 years to build a reputation and it takes 20 minutes to ruin it. And
5 minutes.
Pardon me?
5 minutes.
Well, yeah, with particularly some of my kids. But we have spent 237 years since 1776 building a reputation, as the most wonderful country on earth, and one that's entrusted with having the reserve currency of the world, the one who's, when they say full faith and credit, nobody questions it. And that is being put in jeopardy now, and it could be destroyed in a little while. And a great reputation, as I say, is like virginity. It can be preserved, but it can't be restored. At least that's what my dad told me. So it is absolute folly to even think about it, and it will be. I mean, I don't know what the words are to describe it if we actually would default. I can't believe it'll be done because it just is so stupid. And I think that the whole idea of a debt limit is a terrible, terrible mistake. I mean, if you're going to spend more than you take in, what are you going to do except raise the debt limit? So it becomes this political weapon of mass destruction. It really is like a nuclear bomb. It's something, maybe you can talk about it, but you can't even dream of using it. We dropped 2 atom bombs in 1945. We've never done it since. Now, we've been frustrated by all kinds of governments. We had a war in Vietnam that we did not get a satisfactory resolution to. We've had other wars. But we didn't think about we were going to drop nuclear bombs. I mean, there are certain things that just should not be used in a civilization. And the idea of breaking the government's promises to achieve any other end, whether it's gun control, abortion, Obamacare, whatever it is, tying it to that is madness. You can argue those other things out, but get the debt ceiling out of the picture.
Well, and here we are, 2 days away from the supposed, the actual moment at which we do not raise it or do raise it. And do you have a kind of scenario in mind as to how we will get from here to actually solving this problem?
Well, I think the way to solve it is just to say the debt ceiling, both parties to say the debt ceiling will never be used as a weapon of mass destruction. It's off the table. We'll argue about all kinds of other things and see how they come out. But we are not going to threaten the world and our own citizens with the fact that we aren't going to make good on our promises to achieve some other end. It doesn't make any sense.
You look at what happened in Washington. Do you believe it can happen again?
I don't think that particular thing will happen again.
You don't think the threat of a default will happen again, that they will use the debt ceiling?
Yeah, if they don't, they're out of their minds, and I hope that when the 2014 elections come, people remember. Now, the debt ceiling is silly to start with. I mean, if you appropriate more, I mean, Congress appropriates money, and they set taxation. So, I mean, it's their job to both create revenues and to control expenditures. And if they are going to spend more than they take in, they're going to have to raise a debt ceiling. It should not be there. It is a political weapon of mass destruction, and it's so crazy that you really don't want it. But both parties should just say it's off the table. And I really hope they do that after this. This gives them a great opportunity to just say, listen, we've been nuts in the past. We're not going to be nuts in the future.